Onryoki is a giant red demon born from the amassment of vengeful spirits, and also the cause of my pain and suffering. This video brought to you in part by My Agony and Tears. So we were all going into this game expecting it to be difficult, but once we got to the first boss, we were in for quite a surprise. Throughout all the Souls games, and even Bloodborne, we've never seen a real first boss this difficult. So at this point in the game, we've only fought about 4 or 5 big yokai so far, and this one will take the cake for the greatest. Now, I don't know if everyone had as much trouble with this first boss as I did, but if they did, I could definitely see why. Our reason this boss might be so difficult is because up until this point in the game, we haven't really had a real challenge. Everyone is still learning, from perfecting their ki pulses and remembering to use their living weapons. So to start off, I'm just going to say it right away, this isn't some cheap way or cheaty way in order to beat this boss. This is a strategy that I've found is pretty simple and pretty easy to take this boss down. This boss takes patience and restraint. You can't just go in for 5 hits and expect to not be punished for it. So before we get started, I'm going to show you my stats. I use dual swords on this build, so I have 12 skill, 8 heart, 7 stamina, and I've upped my strength 1 time. Oh no. Big man bear pig. So that was my live reaction to seeing this boss for the first time, and I can say that Onryoki is one gorgeous boss. I mean, just look at those teeth! So yeah, when you first enter this boss room, this boss can be pretty intimidating with his 2 big balls. So what I recommend is at the start, just get behind him and get a couple hits and then back up right away. Once you get these couple hits in, you should back into a corner just like I'm doing right here. Wait for him to get close to you, get 1 swipe, dodge to the side, attack him a couple times, and then back up before he can do his circular move with his balls. This is pretty much all you need to do for this first phase of the fight. It is easier to do with faster weapons, but if you want to just get 1 hit in with an axe, that works well too, and you can just back up right away. One thing that I wanted to point out that I always forget is to use my living weapon. It was still early on in the game, and I would always forget that it was there, but it's very powerful and you should always use it when it's up. When you get your 2 hits in, Onryoki will either do 2 things. He'll either swing his balls around in a circle, or he'll smash to the left and then to the right. Regardless of which one he does, you should back up and wait for him to use it and then go in for 1 more hit, and then repeat the process. This part usually doesn't take that long, but once you get him down to about 3/4 health, he'll start getting staggered and he'll eventually lose his balls and his chains will be cut loose. At this point, it's the second phase of the fight. Now, Onryoki has a lot of moves in this fight. He can pick up his balls and throw them at you, he can do a jumping smash attack, or he can just flail wildly at you and then fall to the ground. He also has a couple pretty basic smashing moves that you just gotta dodge, and those are pretty easy to dodge for the most part. For this part, the main thing is don't get greedy. Only get 1 or 2 hits and then get out, or he will punish you for it. A thing that's annoying about this fight is all the yokai pollution that he drops whenever he does a move. Obviously this is annoying because it stops your ki regeneration and you can't dodge, you can't attack, and that's not good. I recommend having some salt with you, the salt from your past failures with this boss, and also salt in-game, because using salt can get rid of all the pollution. He has 3 moves where I think it's easy to get a lot of good hits in. When he tries to grab you like that, you can probably get 2 or 3 hits in. When he does a jump smash like that, you can get a couple hits in. And when he flails his arms wildly and smashes himself into the ground, is your biggest opportunity to probably get like 4 or 5 hits in. When he picks up his balls to throw them at you, I recommend just staying at a distance, because I find that if you're up close to him, he'll just smash them down on the ground and it's much harder to dodge. Sometimes defeating these bosses in a game doesn't have one clear-cut strategy. It's all about learning their patterns and learning what moves they use after other moves and getting used to that. Unless you're a god, defeating a Dark Souls boss, Nioh boss, or Bloodborne boss on the first try is pretty unheard of. Except for God Tier, that boss is so easy. So yeah, just keep applying this strategy and don't get too greedy. Get 1 or 2 hits and then back off, just like that. 2 hits, back off. Doesn't hit me at all. Uses his ability, doesn't hit me. Couple hits, back off. It's pretty simple, but it can take a while to get used to. Also, using talismans to buff your weapon can do nothing but help you just get a little bit of extra damage in. So don't forget to utilize that as well. And after a lot of patience and fortitude, you should find yourself beating the first real boss of Nioh. The feeling you get when you beat a boss in a game like Dark Souls or Nioh is a feeling you can't get anywhere else. So hopefully this video and strategy helped you out a little bit. I know once I found out the strategy for that first phase, it helped me out a bunch. So good luck, and we'll see you in the next video.